Are
Hello.
live.
Awesome. Awesome. How's everyone doing tonight?
Oh,
Comment
how are you?
hello. If you're
Yeah.
watching the replay, say hi. Watch the replay tonight. Oh my gosh, this is a big, big topic. And I was talking to Sarah before we jumped on. This topic really just like touches my heart. It makes me want to cry when I was looking over some notes that we were going to talk about tonight. And I really want you to take and listen to what we have to say because it is coming from the best part of our heart, because we see so many people struggle and we want to offer you a new way of being because we all deserve it, right? Tonight, if you are new to the group, make sure just let us know that you're new and that you're watching the live every week at 8 p.m. Eastern. We go live on Mondays to give you some really epic training to help you with your emotional eating. If you binge eat, what's another one? Stress eat, all the eating, all,
Absolutely.
all of the eating, and just to really help you find a natural way of eating. I think that's like what we hear mostly is that we just want to eat normal and just want to have a natural way of eating. So this is what these live trainings are all about. And we are so excited that you are here. So what
Yay.
ought
Well, and we
what
have
what ought
Nellie.
you know about dieting? Sorry
Oh,
to totally cut you
sorry.
off.
I was just gonna say I'm saying hi to Nellie and Melissa, who are Melissa's coming in from snowy Missouri. Yeah, let us know where you're from. Where are you tuning in from? If you're watching, and go ahead and if you're on live, awesome. Comment where you're from, where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, just type replay. And we can't wait to just dive into this topic all about rejecting the diet mentality and really again why diets don't work. And really just kind of diving into that because I know for me, I know Hannah and I were talking before, I remember the first time that someone told me that I should let go of control or that I should stop dieting, or I was kind of heard about this like intuitive eating thing. And I kind of heard about like, oh, well, you just need to stop restricting or stop trying to control your food. And I was like, okay, maybe that works for you, but not me. Like, I have a sugar addiction. Like, if I allow myself to eat whatever I want, I will like be 500 pounds and like that'll be really bad. Right. And I didn't know Hannah and I have similar stories, but if that is something that's coming up for you, just know that I was there too. So was Hannah. Like, we've been there. We have been in that place of like, I don't know what to do if I'm not dieting. And so what we're going to do today is this is going to be kind of like a series. So today we're going to just break it down really simple for you. And we're going to go over the 3 things that you need to know when it comes to dieting. Okay.
Yes. Want me to go first?
Yes, you go
I'll,
first.
I'll start it. All right. So, 3 ways dieting leads to weight gain. And I think we have to understand like dieting is restricting, right? It is keeping us, it's so seductive. I think that is the word I was looking for. It's seductive. And so it keeps us coming back over and over and over again because we think that we are seeing results, but really we're keep staying in a cage. It has us chained to a belief system, and everything that we do and how we operate is in this belief system. So once we begin to break, and a belief is something from the outside. I heard this today and I was like, this is powerful. A belief is something that is from the outside, and our thoughts and like who we are is coming from the inside. So we are allowed to break our beliefs, right? We don't have to continue to believe the same thing over and over again. So let's talk about number 1, why dieting leads to weight gain. Number 1, this is like the crucial part. You're underfeeding your body. And so we're going to talk about like the biology of our body when we are underfed. So what dieting can create is a short-term stress response and a long-term survival response. Now, what does that mean? What are the side effects of being in this survival response? So if we're underfeeding our body thinks, oh my God, I'm on a desert island. Oh my God, I don't know when my next meal is. And so what it's going to do, it's going to try to protect itself. So whenever we're dieting, our body's trying to protect itself. And so it's going to try to keep hold of every ounce of weight that you have.
Yeah.
So some side effects. Do you want to go over some side effects, Sierra?
Sure. I was going to say, like, your body, I just feel like underfed or, dieting, or for example, like your body reads that as an underfed state. Like it doesn't think like, oh, she's just doing something healthy to try to like maintain, like, or, your body doesn't think, again, when you start to like use my Fitness Pal app or count your macros. I was just reading some posts with some fitness competitors. So I used to be a fitness competitor, and I had a couple people pop up on my news feed, and I was reading. It was just, basically where they're going through prep mode, where you can just watch their body kind of shrink down into this very small state. But reading these underneath of like, well, I just follow my macros perfectly, and this is how my body gets this way. But what they don't show you is how much weight that they put on it plus some every season. And so I mean, Hannah and I know me specifically because that was me. I used to work with those competitors, and I still have, to on the refeeding process, on weight restoration process, because it is so hard on metabolism. So here's some of those side effects. Like I'm saying that because it is so, what was the word you used?
Seductive.
Seductive, right? Like you're watching these before and afters, and you're watching these people just be like, oh, just do this XYZ and you'll just lose all this weight. It's so seductive. But here's what they are not telling you, and for myself included, this is what was actually going on the inside of that like thin body that I was trying to achieve, or these, people out there with these before and afters are trying to achieve. Here's some of the side effects of being in an underfed body. Your heart rate is slowing down, and so basically your body isn't burning calories as efficiently. It increases your body's efficiency at basically wringing every possible calorie out of the food that you eat, that you do digest. So you digest the food faster and you get hungrier quicker. So basically, you've probably had that experience. It's like you eat a meal and you're like, I should be full, but you're still starving. That's because your body is like underfed. So it's like, oh God, I need every ounce of this, and I'm going to keep telling her I'm hungry. Okay. So that's why you have an increased appetite. You actually, it causes you to want more fast or like high fat foods, like fast food, for example. It actually reduces your energy levels, which makes sense because even if you could burn more calories, you don't want to, because your body is trying to hold on to everything it can, because it doesn't know you're trying to like look lean and fit, or like be in a competition, or just look good in your jeans again. Your body thinks you're on a desert island. So the metabolism and your energy levels are going to go way down to protect itself. Okay. Also, you reduce the ability for your body to know between hunger and fullness. So, which is really, really easy to do and confuse hunger and emotional needs, right? Like that's when we see a huge uptick in emotional eating. Okay. So if you're dieting, you're also going to be hardcore emotional eating, which we've talked all about in our food fix workshop, which we'll talk about later. Okay. But also it reduces your total amount of lean muscle tissue. Okay. So you're losing muscle. It increases fat storage enzymes. So the enzymes that store fat, it increases those, again, protection mode. And then there's a ton of nutrient deficiencies. I've actually worked, kind of a little bit of tangent, but I've worked with women who have done weight loss surgery and have been hospitalized because they've had of malnutrition. Like their body was not absorbing enough nutrients and nutrition, that they were malnourished. So like you can be not malnourished in a bigger body. Like that's possible, right? So you have nutrient deficiency. So those are some of the side effects of dieting. Those are some of the side effects of 1,200 calories in your MyFitnessPal app. Okay. So don't blame yourself for stopping your diet. You didn't fail the diet because you have an immense amount of strength to withhold food, right? Like, don't blame yourself for not being able to stop that. Your biology, all those side effects that I just mentioned, probably plus 100 more, are literally screaming at you to stop whatever you're doing to protect itself. So with that, most like 98% of people, regain the weight that they've lost with dieting without even overeating. Like they're not even overeating. They just go back to normal eating after being on a diet, and all of a sudden all the weight comes like piling back on, even though they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm being really careful. I'm trying to eat now. I'm eating like 1,300 calories and the weight's just like blah, piling back on. So there's numerous animal studies that actually verify this very simple fact that you will regain the weight even without overeating.
Yeah, and I think people think like they feel bad. Like think of all the self-hate that we have when we can't stick to a diet because we're like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm not strong enough. I don't have enough willpower. I don't have all of this. I'm not working hard enough. And I will tell you right now, if you've been dieting for a really long time, you actually are very strong. You have very strong will to stick to something for as long as many people have. Like I think a lot of the people that I talk to, it's like 20 plus years that they've been dieting, right? That is a long time to be committed to something. So to say that you don't have willpower is total BS because you do. What if you took that energy and put it towards something else? Think of what you could accomplish, right? That's something that won't fail you, something that'll actually work. I just think we put so much blame on ourselves, and it's not us.
Yeah. How many people, I just want to know if you're watching live or you're watching the replay, like how many people have blamed themselves when their diet didn't work? Like, what did you tell yourself? I'm just curious. Were you like, I didn't have enough willpower? Was it, I didn't stick to it enough? I wasn't prepared enough. I didn't have enough time. Like, what did you tell yourself? Like, slash, like, feel free to share that, but like, just say, yep, I've blamed myself for when my diets failed. Like, if that was you. And then Amy, what did you tell yourself? We're just curious. So feel free to comment below.
Totally
Also, I
curious.
want to say hi to Olivia. She's a good friend of mine. Hey, Olivia. And Liz from Las Vegas. Hey, Liz. Love your purple hair.
Hey guys.
Purple, but I love purple hair. So hi, thanks so much for joining us. And yes. So yeah, feel free to comment and interact with us, ask questions as we go along too.
Yeah, please do. So let's move on to number 2. So imagine taking a cholesterol medication that lowered your cholesterol in the short term, but clogged your arteries in the long run. Would you take it? So just think about that. If you're taking something that is supposed to help you, but in the long run is actually like hurting you worse, that is what dieting is doing. You are going to like gain weight if you diet, right? We all know that. That's why it's called yo-yo dieting, because we'll lose the weight, we'll gain the weight, lose it, gain it.
And
we're always gaining it and even more. And every time we do that, we are messing up our set point. We're really dysregulating our metabolism. Our metabolism no longer knows how to regulate itself in a proper way. So we're kind of like, we're fighting our biology, kind of back to like number 1, we're really fighting our biology. Yeah. So why do you think diets don't work? And there's been no study with long-term weight loss when it comes to dieting. And would you embark on a program that you knew would cause you to gain more weight and affect your emotional eating? I think this was funny. I was reading some notes and it said, unwanted emotional eating is predictable when you're dieting. So if you are emotional eating and you are dieting, it's going to happen. Like I think you kind of mentioned that. It's like we confuse emotional eating with like, actually we confuse our hunger or emotional eating, but it's because we're dieting. Yes. It's not emotional is what I'm trying to say, right? Our body is just like.
It feels emotional though. Like, doesn't it feel like so out of control?
Yeah.
And you feel so out of control and like everything is emotional and everything is emotional eating because the stakes are so high because you're in a restriction mindset, right? So like that is something that is like the number one important thing that we work on in our program is how to get your brain and your body, your physical body and your mind out of restriction and famine response so that you don't feel like you're always thinking, like always feeling crazy around food. And you're able to like kind of like take all that crap away and then really be like, how can I trust my body? Mm-hmm. What does that even look like? Do you trust your body? Just comment yes or no. Like, hunger, fullness, appetite, satiation. Do you trust your body? Do you know when you're full? Do you know when you're hungry? Do you trust your body to tell you that? Or do you rely on apps,
I was just going to say an app.
containers,
Calories.
Calories. Yeah.
Think of how much energy that actually takes to do all of that. That's taking life force out of you. And yeah, do you want to say anything else about the cholesterol medication?
Yeah, no, let's go into point number 3.
Yeah.
And point number 3 is that basically, again, we're telling you that your body and like your cells are being subjected to famine, right? So there are profound biological mechanisms at play that trigger rebound weight gain, okay, from dieting. Because again, as far as your cells are concerned, they're being subjected to famine, okay, and they'll do anything to survive. So your cells have no idea, again, that you're trying to like look good in your pants, or even trying to be healthy. Restricting your calories and in being in a diet mode is not healthy. There are so many other ways that we teach you how to be healthy. And yes, I'm talking salads and kale and ice cream that are better than restricting, right? Like being on a diet is not healthy. We already just told you all the side effects. Nutrient deficiencies, like your metabolism slows down, you have more fat cell, like it's not healthy. Okay. So
I want to say something real quick about dieting. I think people start dieting because they think that's a way to get healthy. Mm-hmm. And I want you to understand there's a difference between dieting and a healthy lifestyle and a healthy relationship with food. Absolutely. There's 2 different things that you have to recognize and understand. Dieting is restricting. You're taking nutrients from your body. You are not nourishing it. You are not like taking care of it. But a healthy lifestyle is coming from a place of like nourishment, self-love, self-acceptance. So there is a difference. You do not need dieting to be healthy. Yes, a healthy lifestyle will get you healthy. Right. So just wanted to point that out.
No, thank you for saying that, because I think that's so true. And we've talked to so many clients that are like, I don't even know what healthy is anymore. Like there are so many conflicting studies. There's so much conflicting evidence. This guru says go vegan. This person says go, this expert says keto will cure cancer. It's like, it's so confusing, isn't it? Is anyone else confused?
I get confused.
Like, just comment like, I'm confused. Like, we get it. Just comment below, I'm confused. We totally get it. Okay. And that's what we're attempting to do every week. And what I feel like we do every week in our lives is to help like take away the confusion and help give you a game plan, help give you something to like go for that is healthy, that does nourish you. Because emotional eating, we're working on destigmatizing it, but like over time, just totally numbing out and eating your feelings is not healthy either, but either is dieting. So what we're trying to teach you. Mm-hmm. Okay. So last kind of like looking at this, cells are being subjected to famine. So did anyone watch The Biggest Loser? Just comment below like, yep, I used to watch that show. Or so The Biggest Loser. So just in case you don't know, it was a big like weight loss show where they took contestants in and basically like look outside in, like they're basically starving and exercising to lose weight. And it's like big competition. So there's a very well-known survival adaptation that is shown to slow down metabolism. And so there was a 6-year follow-up study done on the contestants in The Biggest Loser show. And it showed that compared to their baseline, contestants' metabolisms were suppressed by an average of 500 calories after like the show, after they lost all this weight. So if your metabolism is suppressed by 500 calories, predictably, when you go back to your normal life where you're not literally working out 8 hours a day, they gained a significant, most of them gained almost all of the weight back plus some. Okay. Mm-hmm. So And again, like going back to this whole, we talked about muscle, right? Like your muscle mass decreases. So another way the body survives dieting, get that, survives. It's like surviving. It's like, oh my God, you're killing me. Okay. The other way your body survives dieting is by cannibalizing its own muscle. Sounds pretty terrible. Okay. And that's because energy is so important, that your body will destroy its own muscle to burn as fuel, because muscle is actually converted to carbohydrates. So that's like being so poor that you can't afford the heating bill or buy wood for the fire. So you just start using your kitchen cabinets to burn for warmth, right? Pretty insane.
Or using your house, right?
Just
Yeah.
like,
Well,
yeah, it
yeah.
makes no sense. So the Biggest Loser study also showed this effect. The contestants actually had more lean muscle tissue at the beginning of the competition. And then 6 years later, when they're doing this follow up, which is unheard of, no one does 6 year follow up studies. Everyone does like 1 year or less. They do like, oh, in 9 weeks, these people lost 30 pounds. And it's like, okay, what about 6 years later? Right. So 6 years later, their muscle was still not restored to their baseline levels. And they also showed higher levels of leptin, which is a hormone that triggers feeling of fullness. So like it screwed up their hormones and their leptin levels. So they never really felt full, which is what happens when you diet, which is why it screws up your hunger and fullness cues. So again, pretty crazy, but your body, okay, it makes sustained weight loss extremely difficult for most people. And most people, I mean like 98% of the human population. Sustained weight loss is extremely difficult. So this makes for a great business model. Okay. So it's like a built-in repeat business for nearly, 60, it's probably almost $70 billion a year now for the weight loss industry. It's an industry. They make money off of you, believing that diets work, right? Like Weight Watchers makes their money off of the people that keep coming back. I had a client that was doing Weight Watchers for 50 years. 50 years. She never once thought like, oh wow, maybe this isn't working. I've been using it for 50 years and she's
Did she
still
believe
doing it.
it was successful?
I I think so, because she kept going back because it worked that one time.
Right. And that's what happens
It
when
does.
it's the first diet you go on is going to be your best diet. But you after that, the diet's never going to be the same. And I talk to a lot of people that are like, I know this diet works, but it seems really hard. I don't want to
Yeah.
do it. I can't do it. I can't stick to it. And
Yeah.
it's true. I mean, I did the master cleanse in high school and it was not easy, but I did it. I had probably 5, 6 years later, I tried to do the master cleanse again and I couldn't even last one day. You
Yeah.
know,
You
it was
can't.
like I did not
Yes.
have the power in myself, the ability to restrict, because I was restricting a lot before then, right? I was restricting a ton. I had nothing left in me to restrict.
Yeah. And that's not you. That's not your willpower. That is your biology being like, yo, I literally cannot do this anymore. We have a
Yeah.
lot of clients that come to us like that. Like, I can't physically diet anymore. Like, my body, like, they'll try to do a diet, like, they'll make it through breakfast and then be binging their face off by lunch, right? Like, that's not you. That's not your willpower. There's a reason why diets get harder and harder and harder and harder. And have you noticed that the diet industry sells shorter and shorter and shorter weight loss things? Like, oh, 3 day cleanse. It's like, oh, but it's because no one can make it longer than 3 days because you've already been you've dieted so long that your body can't even make it 3 days, which is actually a very good thing. Your body is protecting you.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God you can't actually override the system and say, screw that, because that's going to end you up in the hospital
Yeah.
with eating disorders, which does happen for people. So wrapping up,
I want to read some of
yeah,
these comments
yeah,
first. Lizzie says, I've been so hard on myself. Katrina says, we got this. That's right. You do got this, Katrina. Nally says, me too, but we have the power to change it. And yes, yes, you do.
yes,
And Katrina says, it makes me so sad that I've done that to myself. And, it's a part of the journey, right? Now it's like sometimes we just don't know better, and now we do. And I want to like point out like the opposite of chronic dieting. This is what someone that does not diet, how their relationship with food is. It's nourishing, natural, and overall uplifting. I just want you to like think about that. What is uplifting? What makes you feel like I want to do more of this because it makes me feel really, really good?
Yeah.
You know? And so that's kind of like a tie-in to how we can help you. And like the solutions that we have to help you get started if you are ready to make some small changes and adjustments. Like we want to be able to give you some tools right now so you can start that path. Okay, so to get your body out of survival, and this takes time, but also you can get really quick results with this too. It's really amazing. I've had clients who are like, oh my gosh, in like 2 weeks, their whole energy level, their whole body shifted and changed in 2 weeks by doing these small, simple tweaks that we're going to talk about. Number one, slow down and breathe. Every time I say that, I have to breathe because I'm like, yes. Because think about it, what, like, are you fast, moderate, or a slow eater now?
Comment below. Are you
Yeah,
fast
comment
eater?
below. And
Are you fast, moderate, or slow?
yeah, comment and let us know, because if you begin to start slowing down your meals just a little bit by little bit, then that is going to be a huge effect. That's switching your body from that survival state, that stress state, into a relaxed state, which then when you're at a relaxed state, guess what happens? Your body begins to work more effectively and efficiently, and actually weight can actually be released then. Right? Our weight cannot be released if we are in a stress state. You know, it's really challenging and difficult. Number two, really focus on your rhythm. What is your eating rhythm? How are you eating? Are you a meal skipper? Is your meals kind of sporadic and whenever, and you're like forgetting to eat and you're eating like at 2:00, you're eating lunch at 2 instead of around 12? Like really begin to watch your rhythm, really focus on eating when the sun is rising, maybe a couple hours after you wake up, and then eating around the peak of the sun around lunchtime, 12 to 1, and then eating dinner between 5 and 8. Like really focusing on having those substantial, and I love, like Sierra always talks about, like nourishing, satisfying meals.
Nourishing meals. Like
give yourself meals.
I'm not talking like one hard-boiled egg and like
and some carrots.
I'm talking like eggs and bacon and like toast and like avocado and maybe throw in a green smoothie and like a meal.
Yeah.
A meal.
I've been doing that, and I'm like, I don't snack throughout the day, hardly ever. Maybe once in a while I do, but I'm more satisfied. And do you know what? When you're more satisfied, you're happier. And when you're more satisfied, you have more energy.
Yep.
So just think about all these little things. How are you feeding your body is going to help you determine on how you're living your life. And
Melissa said about being slow. She said, I put up a picture of the sloth from Zootopia in my kitchen to remind me to slow down. I love that. That's awesome.
That is so great. That's so good. Yeah. All right. So number 3 is beliefs around food. And this is a big one, because what I talked about at the very beginning of this live, if you didn't catch it, a diet is a belief system. It is a religion. And the nice thing about beliefs is we can change our beliefs. Beliefs come from programming, from outside sources telling us that we need to believe this or that, right? But we can change those beliefs. We can create new beliefs. And when we begin to change the beliefs around food, we can actually see food differently. And, like, I'll give you a couple, like, I remember when I was restricting my diet really, really bad, and I was afraid of food. I had a fear of food, like food was the enemy, but I was here trying to eat it. I was eating something I was afraid of.
Mhm.
That was like, I was like, if I eat that, I'm going to get fat. If I eat fat, I'm going to get fat. And so when I was releasing out of this restriction, it took a long time for me to work out of it and introduce new food. And I think that's why our program, Empowered Eating Inner Circle, is so powerful, because we're actually like walking you through like how to introduce food, how to eat your food, how to do all that we're talking about, how to stop really dieting and using food to cope, so you can actually have a different belief around food. Look at food as nourishing rather than food as bad or good,
Yep.
because that makes you bad or good if you eat it or not eat it. I mean, think how crazy that is. Are you really a bad person because you ate a cookie? No, you are not a bad person, but that is the belief
Yeah.
that we have about ourselves for eating something that we should not eat.
Right. Or like you have to be a certain size in order to enjoy certain foods, right? Like if you're thin, like you can eat a cookie, no problem. But if you're large in a larger body, it's not okay to eat a cookie. Like those are some deep rooted fat phobic beliefs. Like I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this is going deep, and those beliefs, like we want you to start noticing those. Like what's coming up for you? Like what are some of those deep, maybe if you guys feel like, and I know we have some people that are in our program right now watching, like if you've noticed some of your beliefs, maybe share them. And I'm sure that other people have the same things or very similar beliefs. Like Hannah, like that was so beautiful. Like fearing actual food, like all food was
Mm-hmm.
evil, it's gonna make me fat. I used to do the same thing. If there was anything that was like not basically spinach, I'm like, this is going straight to my stomach. It's gonna make like this is, it was just like constant. And again, like Hannah said, those constant stream of negative thoughts are putting your body into a stress response, just like famine mode. Okay. Because that's stressful. Your body doesn't know the difference between a saber-tooth tiger chasing you, stress response, and you continually stressing yourself out with your thoughts and negativity around food in your body.
I mean, our thoughts are everything. And, like, I think it's a good idea to start questioning your beliefs. Where did you get that belief? Was it from childhood? Was it your parents? Was it the TV? Was it a commercial? Was it, where did you get your belief about food, or what was right or wrong with food, how you should eat? And even with us, like I love to say this all the time, take what works for you and leave the rest. This is your body,
Yeah.
your life. We are here to offer you guidance and support, but also like this is up to you to make those choices for yourself and to deepen that relationship with yourself and your body, so you can begin to choose what's going to be right for you. Because you know what? There's no one diet that is going to work for everybody. We each have a different diet. And that is so powerful and empowering when you think about it, that you can create your own diet. And I think there's a lot of fear in believing that we can have it. When you ask the question, if you trust your body, there was a lot of people that were saying working on it, which is awesome. But there was a lot of people saying that you don't trust your body. And this is like, we have to start building that muscle so we can actually start choosing foods that are going to work for us. And it's not even choosing foods that are going to work for us. It's choosing like the way of eating that's going to make us feel good, that's
Yeah,
going to be
absolutely.
uplifting, right? That's going to make us not think about food all the time, that make us live our life and do the things that you want to do. What are you holding back because you're dieting, right? That we're restricting. Oh, just want to
Yeah, I
get
have here's
excited.
some comments with some
Yeah.
beliefs. I always think that when I start eating this, I can't stop. Like the better it tastes, the more safe I feel, the more I eat. Absolutely. Like I'm
Mm,
afraid I can't stop. So huge. Katrina, my family called me fat my whole life, even when I wasn't, and I always felt guilty about eating. Yep,
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Nellie says, doing this inner work is so powerful. Questioning my beliefs has brought me so much awareness. Sarah, like I totally get this. I agree. I feel it's more therapy for myself that manifests through my eating, self-love, and more. It's awesome.
Yeah. Katrina says she couldn't eat in front of people. I
Yeah.
had that fear too. I hated eating in front of people for a long time.
Me too. I was so afraid of people's judgment.
Hmm.
Okay, so those are the, like, let's recap those three things to help your body get out of survival mode. We want you guys to start seeing success and start sharing with us. Like, feel free to take these on and then share with us how it's going. Slow down and breathe. Like 5 to 10 breaths before every single meal.
Yeah.
Rhythm. I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
Breathe.
Rhythm. Okay. Like breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you need snacks, like eat snacks. Like we don't care. Like, but like big, nourishing, delicious, yummy, satisfying meals. Okay. In a rhythm, like as much as you can, just experiment with it. Okay. Breakfast before 9 a.m., lunch at noon, and dinner, a few hours after that. Okay. Just like don't make it a rule, just experiment. And then the third thing is your beliefs around food. Okay. So to wrap this up, really, we want you guys, like, we want to help you stop dieting and take on approach. We know that that's really scary. Like we talked about this in the beginning. Like when I first stopped dieting, like I was absolutely terrified. I didn't even know what I was doing. It took me way long. It's such a long time to figure this out. We don't want that to be you. We don't want you to keep being stuck in this emotional eating and like feeling crazy around food hell. Like we don't want that to be you. So it can be so hard to do this on your own. And again, some people are okay with totally ripping the band-aid off and just eating all the foods and whatever. But a lot of times that's scary. And so we want to help you reestablish trust with your body and get out of diet mode in a step-by-step process. Okay. So this is where we are offering our 15-minute emotional eating game plan call. Okay. It's 15-minute game plan call. We want to, no strings attached. We really just want to help you. I promise. We just want to see where you're at. What things have been getting in your way, what's been stopping you, and we want to give you some real practical steps to put into place so that you can start healing your emotional eating. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and type comment below game plan, and Hannah or I will reach out to you and we'll just schedule a quick call and we'll just see what we can do to help you start feeling better about your body, about your emotional eating, whatever is going on with you. That way we can just dive in a little bit deeper in our game plan call. So again, just comment below game plan and we'll reach out to you and we'll get that started. I did want to leave you with one thing with dieting, the dieting industry. There's one little fact. I wanted to read it to you. The diet industry is the only business that produces a product that doesn't work, but is not blamed for its failure. The consumers blame themselves. Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
So again, like diet's not working is not your fault. It is not about your willpower. It's not.
Mm-mm.
And we're going to help you find out what does work for you and help you live a life that feels free and easy and healthy and good in your body. So comment below game plan and we'll help you get started.
And I just want to, like Lizzie said, that so many emotions bubbled up in this conversation, and just let those emotions flow. And I'm so glad you do not feel alone anymore, because you are not. Like this group, like I feel like it's such a wonderful container. It was really nice and active today, especially like people supporting each other. Yeah. And like you are not alone in this. And this is why me and Sierra are here. Like we're here to help you and support you and move you forward in your life if you are ready and willing to do that. And it can be scary. And that's why we created the inner circle, because we wanted to, like, the people that were ready and they're ready to, start making those steps and changes forward, we want to be there with you to make it not as scary, to make it actually a safe place. I see Nellie and Melissa, who are both in it. They have been like encouraging each other, and really so much has shifted within the first couple of weeks of the program. So,
Lizzie said I already scheduled my game plan call. We're doing a game plan call tonight. So excited. So again, these are fun. These are light. These are just kind of get to know you calls. And so again, just comment below game plan if you're ready to talk with one of us. And if not, that's okay too. Keep watching. Every week we do a live video, read our content. I know Lizzie, Lizzie, you know, you were already, I could see you were already in the units, just like flying through those videos in the units, which is huge. You know, that's awesome. So go to our unit section. You can watch some of our past live trainings, and then stay tuned. We usually recommend like check in with the group once a day, to like see what's happening. Feel free to comment, share what's going on in your life. Obviously protect your social media time. We totally get that. But we really want this place on social media to be supportive and helpful. And we want you to want to come on to social media just to be with us, right? Like
to
so
learn something,
like,
to grow.
yeah, to grow, right? Not to just mindlessly scroll, but to really like change and uplift your life. So thanks so much for sticking around. And this is a little bit longer of a training tonight, but thank you guys for being on with us. Or if you're on the replay, thank you so much for sticking with us. And if you have any questions or comments about tonight, please feel free to comment below and we'll get back to you.
Awesome. See you guys.
Bye.